it's July, and you know what that means? That means literally every single movie just comes out. So welcome back to What I Watched Last Month, a series where I talk about what I watched last month. Now, to start off the month, I watched Supergirl. Now, Supergirl was actually one of my most anticipated movies of the year because I love Superman, and it's just the same, except from she's a girl. Not a woman, just a girl. And I obviously knew it wouldn't be as good as Superman, but I thought it would be, pretty good. And I really wanted to like it. But then when you're sat in the cinema and it's just this really poorly written version of Superman, except there's just no story. It's almost like you asked ChatGPT to make a Supergirl movie, then you gave it the Superman movie and said, make it like this, but woman. And it's actually really annoying because, like I said, I wanted to like it because the people who don't like it are like the right-wing Zack Snyder fans. And like, I don't want anything to do with that. I hate the Snyder films. But it's just like, this movie just isn't good. Let me give you a rundown of the amazing writing in this. So, Supergirl, she don't care about anything. She's depressed, getting drunk every night, whatever. Then there's this evil guy. He's just evil for no reason. And he shoots Krypto for no reason because he's evil. And then Supergirl's like, oh no, I need to actually do something in life. I'm gonna turn my whole life around. I'm gonna start caring. I'm gonna do some crazy stuff. Then she meets this little girl who's like, I wanna kill this guy. And she's like, no, you shouldn't do that. And then she just kind of comes along and Supergirl's like, okay, yeah. And then basically there's like an hour, like 45 minutes where basically nothing happens. Lobo shows up, he goes, hi. And they're like, this guy is crazy. He kills people, he don't care. And then he just leaves, and then then there's nothing for a bit, and then there's like this big crazy fight. Like Supergirl, she like almost dies, but then like 10 minutes later she just gets back up and then fights again. The little girl is in a cage. They're gonna kill her or something, I don't know. I generally don't know what this bad guy's goal is. And then Supergirl just kills them all. And Lobo is also there for some reason. He just shows up again and kills people and then leaves. And then, it's about to be the big crazy fight at the end. And they went, okay, I'm James Gunn and I have amazing music taste, Guardians, all three of them, Suicide Squad, Superman as well. Amazing songs in all of the movies. What about The Middle by Jimmy Eat World? That's a great song. Everyone loves that song. We should include that. Do you know what would be better than The Middle by Jimmy Eat World? The Middle, but by some random singer who is terrible. And it's the most uncomfortable thing ever. And it's in this big epic fight scene. I would actually be offended if I was a woman, because this is Supergirl. This is feminine power or whatever. And this is the song they chose. It's literally there's a zillion female artists you could have chose, and you decide to go a terrible cover of a song by men. It's just a bit insulting, isn't it? Then the movie ends, and yeah, it's pretty pointless. Literally nothing happened. You know what was good? Superman has 5 minutes of screen time, and he's amazing. Well, not amazing, but he's good. He's Superman. It's just so annoying. Why wasn't this good? And then following that up with another amazing movie. My friend Phil was like, hey, do you want to go see this movie? It's called Charlie and the Wonder Dog. I was like, Phil, couldn't think of anything better. At the cinema near me, they do really cheap tickets for kids movies at 10 in the morning. And this was one of them. And we were like, sure, because it was £2 for a ticket. So we went to the cinema at 10 in the morning to watch Charlie and the Wonder Dog. If you're wondering, what's Charlie and the Wonder Dog? Clearly, you've been under a rock for the past year, because this movie's massive. I watched this a month ago. I do not remember a single thing. What I do remember is that the script is AI, most definitely, 100% I would say. But then, do you know what's funny? Basically, there's a dog and he's super, and there's a cat who's evil. And the cat's actually hilarious. I love the cat in this film. Basically, the cat frames the dog, Charlie. I keep saying Charlie and the Wonder Dog, but it's just Charlie the Wonder Dog. It just feels wrong, Charlie the Wonder Dog. But Charlie, he's trying to stop a bank robbery, and he sees this beautiful gem, and he goes up and touches it. But then the cat steals the gem later and does Photoshop and puts Charlie's head over it, and then he gets framed, and Charlie's like, that's AI. They use AI to make this fake video of me. First of all, it wasn't AI. It's literally a picture of your head, Charlie, on top of the cat's head. And second though, the script is AI. So I don't know, like, do you like AI or not? Make up your mind. So I'm getting mixed signals from this. But yeah, the cat is hilarious. Genuinely, it's like very funny, the cat. But no, I was gonna give it half a star, but the cat is funny. So that's why I gave it 1 star. Because like I'm not giving an AI movie higher than 1 star. And then another Phil recommendation. I have an inside joke with my friends that Phil just recommends terrible movies. And yeah, he recommended My Bloody Valentine, which is a remake of, they did it in the 70s, and it's actually why the band My Bloody Valentine is called My Bloody Valentine, because of the film from like the 80s or whatever. And they decided to remake it in the 2000 with Jensen Ackles, who plays Soldier Boy in The Boys. Probably my least favourite genre is the like horror movies, which is just kind of a bad guy chasing people around. I think that is my least, like, slasher horror. I think that's my least favorite genre. But so far the writing of these films, they've just been terrible, because this is like also terribly written, and it also sexualizes women, so it's not looking good for women in this video so far. And then I was out drinking and I woke up hungover. Well, I don't really get hungover, but I was a little bit. And last month I watched Twilight when I was hungover as well, and I don't know, I just woke up and I was like, I want to watch Twilight again. And I was like, I'm not watching Twilight 1 again, I watched Twilight 2. And I love Twilight, I love the first one, and I also love the second one. It's not as funny, but it's still pretty funny. And then a few days later, I was also hungover. So guess what I did? I watched Twilight 3, and it turns out I thought I had watched Twilight. I knew I hadn't watched the fourth and the fourth one, whatever, but I thought I'd watched the third one before. Turns out I never watched it, so that was fun watching that for the first time. Team Edward, I'm not a weirdo. But back to the July movies, I watched Minions and Monsters. Is it the third Minions movie? Yeah, it is. And the 7th Despicable Me movie, whatever. This was actually like, I didn't expect it to be like, I didn't know what to like, I was like, oh, there's minions and there's a monster. And I thought it was just gonna be there's minions and a monster. But it turns out this film is basically just like, what's the word? Like is it homage? Is that the right word? I think it is. I'm just gonna say it. It's like a homage to like early filmmaking from like the 1910s to kind of like the 1930s, like that kind of era of film. Like when like sound was first being introduced, and it's kind of just like a bunch of like references to that era of filmmaking, which is really weird from like a Minions movie from 2026. Like, how is Charlie Chaplin, like, how is he a cameo in a Minions movie? How does that come about? Like, George Lucas is just there for some reason. But no, this is actually quite funny. Like, the Minions as like a character is just kind of like dead, I would say. Like, no one's talking about Minions in 2026, are they? And this movie didn't do very well, so I can't imagine there's gonna be another Minions movie, which is kind of sad. Like, Despicable Me 4 was terrible, and this and Minions 3 didn't do very well, so I can't imagine they're gonna do another one, which is sad. But this is actually funny. It's not good, but it's funny, so that's why I gave it a 3. The little green guy, I forgot his name, but he's like genuinely so funny. I love it. He's really cute as well. In the intro, like the opening credits, they had like a bunch of like, they would like, this is actually really cool. They like filmed, like, I'm pretty sure none of it's real, but they like filmed like footage and edited it to look like it's like a movie from like the 1910s or whatever. And they just put minions in it, and it's actually quite funny. And in one of them, they had a trip to the moon, and it was just the minions going to the moon, I'm pretty sure, I don't really remember. And when I got home, I just kind of watched a trip to the moon, which I thought, that's crazy. Like, one of the most like important films like ever and definitely like that era. And like the reason I watched it was because of Minions and Monsters, because I'd always wanted to watch it, because it's like, I know it's good and it's like interesting because it's from like 1903, and yeah, I was like, this is awesome. I love A Trip to the Moon. Like, I've always wanted to watch like older films, but like I've put on like an older film and I've just like not been able to engage with it. Like, I just don't have that mindset. Like, I like Nosferatu, like that's cool, and I'd watch like Frankenstein and like Jekyll and Hyde and stuff like that, and like I've been like, yeah, it's cool. My brain, I just can't like appreciate it because like obviously I've watched Avengers, so you know, comparing that to that in my brain, it doesn't really work. But I'm glad I actually enjoyed A Trip to the Moon, because like I was like there was a thought in my mind which was like, I'm just kind of gonna be like, yeah. But no, this is actually real. I don't know how they made this. It's so cool. Like basically they fire a rocket to the moon, or it looks like a bullet, but I'm pretty it's like a rocket. It's supposed to be a rocket because they didn't have rockets back then. I don't know. And then there's a bunch of little like aliens on the moon, and the people they hit them with a stick, and like what happens is they're going like poof, and it's like a big ball of smoke, and it's like, how did they do that? There's literally like 1903 or whatever. How did they do it? I was like amazed. I was like, this is crazy. And then probably my second most anticipated movie of the year, The Odyssey, was coming out, and my schedule was very busy, so I was struggling to fit it in. And I'm forgetting. I watched the drama as well with Robert Pattinson. I just thought, oh yeah, I didn't watch that. And he's starring in The Odyssey, so is Zendaya. I'll watch it. And yeah, it was pretty good. I expected it to just be like a basic drama, but there was like a lot of like surrealist like elements to it, you could say. Like, just one shot really stood out to me. It was Zendaya's character. She was imagining like the wedding, and there was just a bunch of like dead people and blood everywhere, and I like really like was like, whoa, damn, like that's just like a striking image in like what I just assumed was just a normal drama movie, which is really cool. But yeah, this was quite good, well acted, well written, you know, pretty good. And then The Odyssey. Now, where I live, there is no IMAX theaters, so I had to travel 2 hours 30 on a bus, and then I had to walk an hour to the IMAX theater. So then that's why I watched The Odyssey, which was like, I think in a way that made me appreciate the movie even more. The fact I had to, you know, pay for a bus, get the bus there, which took forever, and then pay for the IMAX tickets, which are expensive as well. I think that made me appreciate more, because like I'd always wanted to see something in an IMAX, but I like, you know, I had to travel all the way and it's expensive, so I was like, I'm gonna wait until something is like worth that, if you know what I mean, because I could just see some like good movie in IMAX and go, yeah, that was pretty cool. But then a movie like The Odyssey, which is probably the first and only movie that is like, I think this like fits the criteria the most, because it's literally filmed 100% in IMAX. So I went there, and like walking into the cinema, well, the actual like screen room, and just seeing the giant screen, I was like, whoa, because it wasn't 70mm IMAX, it was just like normal IMAX or whatever. But like, it was still massive. I went with my friend Linus, and he was talking to me about how like the screen size or something, and like I had seen images comparing IMAX to like 70mm IMAX, and like when I was there, I was like, this just looks like, I was expecting like something good but not amazing, but no, the screen was like ginormous. It was amazing. But no, the film itself, I don't really know what I can say about a film like this. Like Christopher Nolan movies, they're just kind of good, and like that's about it. They're just extremely amazing, and like it's probably been a lifelong dream of him being able to make a film completely in IMAX, because Oppenheimer, that was like, I don't know the percentage, but like a decent amount of that was in IMAX. The fact he could be able to do the whole film in IMAX was probably amazing for him. And, you know, the thing where he's like, oh, I don't like CGI, whatever, like, that annoys me, that thing. But, the fact that he did film, like, pretty much everything practically, I also thought was amazing. Because, like, they're actually just on a boat in the middle of the ocean, like an actual, like, ancient boat in the Mediterranean or whatever, there was, and they're actually just, like, they have this big boxy camera and just a bunch of, like, soldiers just rowing a boat, and they're actually, like, filming them. Like, that's amazing. Like, when I think of cinema, that's what I think of, and I think this, like, movie is, like, quite, like, kind of like A Trip to the Moon. Like, people talk about that's, like, a pinnacle point in cinema, and I think The Odyssey is also one of them pinnacle points in cinema, like the first film to be filmed entirely in IMAX, you know, actually like everything is real, well, mostly everything. Like I could see people like talking about it like it's one of the biggest things in like 50 years time. But yeah, this film is awesome. My favorite part is the Cyclops scene. I thought it was awesome, and also something I really appreciated is I don't know anything about Greek mythology. Like, Medusa, is that... I genuinely don't know a single thing. But the fact that there's literally like 8... Cyclops, Pig Woman, Giant People, Mermaids, Wormhole, big spider guy thing in the rocks, the undead people, Trojan horse, Zeus's law, I'm gonna count that, but yeah, whatever, there's like so many like Greek myths, what I have no idea about. Like, I don't know what these things are. The fact that they're so like effortlessly explained to me without being like, this is this and this is this, like it's just a movie that flows beautifully and tells you everything. Like I wasn't sat there being like, I have no idea what that is. Like it was just explained to me. Like it's perfect exposition. And bro, the scene at the end where he comes in and he's got the hood up and then he's like, can anybody string this bow? And then all the pricks are like, they're struggling, and he just walks up and he goes and he shoots the arrow and, oh god, he's here, what the heck? And then there's like what I thought of as soon as I left the cinema, it was kind of like the scene in Kingsman. Do you know when Freebird plays and he just kills all the people in the church? It was like that, except from it's just Matt Damon just killing all these people, and it's like this crazy epic battle. Something annoying though is like I will want to rewatch it. I want to rewatch it now, but I don't think I want to spend all my money going to see it in IMAX again, which is annoying because I either have to just go to a normal cinema, which is going to be nowhere near the experience, or watch at home, which is also hard because will it return to cinema? I hope it does, because I'll go see it in IMAX in like a year maybe. But like I want to watch it now, but I can't. It's just it's a bit annoying, but oh well. And then, do you know what's crazy? The day after was when I got on a plane and I flew to Greece. The movie was that good that I went to Greece because it was that good. No, that's not true. I happened to go into Greece the day after. Like, isn't that crazy? I watched the movie, then the day after went to Greece. But before the flight, I watched After Sun because I knew it was like on holiday and it's like a good movie. Yeah, After Sun's cool. I watched it with my family. It's actually really sad and sweet and it's good. But yeah, I was on holiday in Greece. I would sit there on the beach looking out into the ocean. I would just imagine Asher Speed, like just going to Troy to hide in the horse. I had downloaded a bunch of like fun summer movies on a USB stick. I get there and it doesn't work. So I'm like, frick, I'm gonna have to watch whatever Netflix has. And they actually had some good movies. So I rewatched Mad Max Fury Road because I wanted to watch Furiosa, and I was like, I'll rewatch Fury Road because it's amazing. And yeah, Fury Road is amazing. And Furiosa is also pretty good. And it turns out Furiosa is it leads on straight towards Mad Max, which is annoying because I would have watched Furiosa first and then watched Mad Max. But oh well, I watched them the wrong way around. But yeah, it is just as good. I would say just the fact that it takes quite a long time to start. Like the first half of the movie is just kind of her being young, and like it is good. It's just kind of like we should pick up the pace here, get onto the movie, you know. But you know, it's good. It's good. And then I watched Dee Dee, which is, if you've watched mid-90s, it's quite similar to that, but it's obviously like it's a separate film. It's not just like the same story or whatever. It's just like very similar. It's about like teenage youth and like skating as well. So it's hard to not compare the two, even though they're not that similar. But no, it's good. The thing is with mid-90s is it's good, but the characters aren't really like that in depth. Like it's kind of just like, oh, they're teenagers, like it's whatever. But the thing about Dee Dee, the characters were like quite in depth. Like the way Dee Dee, the guy, the kid, whatever, the way he is written, I thought was like extremely realistic. Like things he would do, like the way he talked and his mannerisms and like the way he acted, just like I related to in a way, because like I was how old he is in the film at one point, and I related to like some of the things he was like, obviously not all the things, but like I was like, wow, this is like quite well written. Like this is a very good like portrayal of like what an actual like 14-year-old is like, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, Dee Dee was good. And then the Odyssey, it just got me in that Christopher Nolan mindset. I was like, I want to rewatch a Christopher Nolan movie, and I only had Netflix, so my options were Dunkirk, which I don't really like Dunkirk, Interstellar, which, guess what, I watched Interstellar on my last holiday. I watched it on like this like small TV in my hotel room, which was fun because you know the meme where it's like the way Nolan intended and it's just a teleport TV. I was like, why don't I just do this? And I was like, if I'm gonna rewatch Interstellar, I don't want to watch it on my iPad in the hotel room. I'm gonna watch it on like an actual like TV or in cinema at least. So my only option was Tenet. Now the thing is, people are like Tenet is not that good. Me personally, I quite like Tenet. I had watched Tenet like at the start of the year, and I don't know what I said in the video where I talked about it. I kind of don't want to rewatch it because I don't want to know what I said, because the thing is, I probably either said something stupid trying to be funny, or was like, yeah, I thought it was cool and I definitely understood it, but the thing is, I didn't understand it. And that was one of the reasons I wanted to rewatch it, because I would like to understand this movie, and I'm pretty sure I have understood it. So I had a full day on. Do you know when you're on holiday and you have a day where you just kind of don't do much? It was that day, and I was like, why don't I just spend the day trying to figure out what this movie's about? So this is my interpretation of the movie. Basically, the movie, at first, it just seems about like going back in time and then doing something, so then in the future it changes. But in actuality, what the movie is about is the temporal pincer movement. That's what it's called, I'm pretty sure. Which, I mean, if you haven't watched Tenet, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. So, but basically, what it is. So, do you know in the war scene at the end when there's two teams, one's going forward, one's going backwards? Basically, so team 1, they fight the war. Team 2, they do nothing to the war. Then team 2, when the war is over, they go in the time machine thing, they go backwards through the war to where it started. And then, when the war started, they go forwards again. So now they're back to normal. And then they tell Team 1 what happens. So now, Team 1 goes, oh, I know what to do now, because Team 2 told us. That's what the temporal pincer movement. So why is it called that? I don't know. Like, what is a pincer? Like, that's like what a crab has. But then, guess what? The whole movie is a temporal pincer movement. One thing I want to say is, I think they like show what the temporal pincer movement is quite good, because there's the car chase scene and you see them going backwards, and like they have like such a good plan, and then it doesn't work, and you're like, why didn't that work? Like, they literally like made sure the security was down so there's no evidence of anything, but then like the bad guys still like beat them, so it's like, what? And then when they get to the machine that makes you go backwards in time, it then lets you like experience what it is going backwards, and you kind of like, oh, okay, so that's what they were doing. So now he knows what happens, so then he can change it. So you kind of like, oh yeah, I can kind of understand what that is. And then when it comes to the end, I think they show it very well, so now you like fully understand what it is. Like, because I think if they just showed it once, you'd be like, oh, okay. But the fact they show it twice, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. It's obviously like quite complicated to wrap your head around. But I think another great thing is the way they show it, and they show it again but backwards, and then they explain it, and then do it so you understand. I think that sets up the ending quite well, because, I mean, if I don't know, if you haven't watched it, why are you even like listening to me? Like, just go to the next part. But the ending reveals that he was the one in charge of Tenet, which are like, what? Didn't he join them when he tried to kill himself at the start? No, because in the future, the protagonist does start Tenet. You might be wondering, isn't it already a thing? No. In the future, he starts Tenet and then sends people like Robert Pattinson backwards in time to when all that stuff was going on, so that them people knew what would happen, so they can change the course of what did happen, so it worked. Like, remember in the big silo thing where the bomb is? Remember how Robert Pattinson is like there's like 3 of him at the same time, and he sacrifices himself at the gate, and it's also at the start as well, literally, in the opera house thing, and one of the like SWAT team people, they save him, and you can tell because it has a little keychain on the back, and guess who sacrifices at the end? The person with the keychain on the back. And then at the end, Robert Pattinson's like, this is the beginning to a great friendship, because he knows in the future he's already experienced it. Because the protagonist creates Tenet, hires Robert Pattinson, sends him to go back to save him, and then they're gonna do blah 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 whatever with the devices, because Robert Pattinson knows he's gonna die. He has to die now to save the protagonist, so he goes backwards, dies, whatever. And you might be thinking, why didn't Robert Pattinson just tell him? Because imagine someone told you that, you would be like, what the hell are you talking about? So Robert Pattinson has to pretend to just be some like rookie who has no idea what's going on, so that the protagonist doesn't go, something's going on. So the protagonist can just like act out what is supposed to happen normally without like the fact that he from the future has sent someone back in time to help him. And that's just, I'm pretty sure that's what the movie is. Maybe it's not, maybe I'm just completely delusional. Something I want to talk about is the fact that people don't like this movie, which I find weird. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna talk about people's three main criticisms of the movie. First one is that it's too confusing and it doesn't make sense. Well, first I'm gonna talk about why people think it's confusing, because this is a mainstream movie that is extremely confusing. Most like mainstream movies are quite like, it tells you what happens, then you're like, yeah, blah, and then so you know what's at stake, you know, like you don't need to think about things, you just go, oh yeah, that makes sense, yeah, that makes sense, good guys win, bad guys dead. Now, this couldn't be far from that, and I think the audience that watched this just isn't that. Since it's a mainstream movie, the audience that watched it just didn't expect it to be that kind of movie, because it's a Nolan movie. I'm not gonna sit and go Interstellar, Prestige, that's the most simple, easy movies. No, both them endings are quite confusing, you have to like quite think about them, but I understood Interstellar, I understood Prestige, I understood Inception from the first watch. Like, I don't need to rewatch them to understand. You need to watch it, Tenet, to understand. So I think people just watch Tenet, and when this is confusing and not very well made, because I don't understand it, because they're used to movies that explain themselves. And then when there's a movie that doesn't explain yourself, but they're easy to understand, like that's the craziest thing ever. That's probably why Prestige, Inception, Interstellar are like extremely high rated, because they're confusing, but you can understand them. I'm talking from my experience, and maybe they didn't understand it, but I'm saying like it's not that hard. They go in a dream and time slows down, then they go in a dream and then the time slows down, and they go in a dream and time slows down, and then they implant thoughts into dreams. Like that's pretty easy to understand. And it's not even like Christopher Nolan, because there's like other mainstream movies that are confusing as well, like Eternal Sunshine for the Spotless Mind. That's confusing. Mainstream audience loves that. 2001 Space Odyssey, like come on. Like, so I think it's the fact that it is as confusing as it is. People say Inception's confusing. I guess not really. Like you're confused at first, but then you understand it. Tenet is confusing. Like I would also say Memento is confusing as well, but whatever. So I think it's the fact that the majority of audience expect it to be like Inception and Interstellar, and for them to understand it, and when they didn't understand it, they just was like, they got mad and was like, this movie isn't good. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like I haven't done the exact same. There's plenty of like confusing movies that I haven't got and just rate them low. Like, I give a list here. I have Eraserhead as a 2.5, Enemy as a 3, Solaris as a 3, Blade Runner as a 2, Blade Runner 2049 as a 2 as well, Donnie Darko as a 3. Like, I just clearly didn't understand the movies. It was like, whatever, 2, whatever, 3, whatever. And that's just because that's how I watch movies when I did. And now I think my movie knowledge has expanded from then, and now I can understand and appreciate a more confusing surreal movie like Tenet, for example, or even like 2001 Space Odyssey. And I watched Mulholland Drive this year, and I thought that was one of the best films I've ever watched. If I watched Mulholland Drive a few years ago, I would be like, this is terrible. But now I can understand and appreciate it, so I think Tenet's amazing. I need to rewatch the movies I just said, by the way. I probably will, like, quite soon. And now, another reason why people don't like this is they understood it, I guess, and say that there's not much emotional depth. Now, I'm just looking at the top reviews on Letterboxd. Pause and read these, but they're basically just saying there's no emotional depth. The only, like what motivates the characters is the fact there's a woman and there's a child who are in danger. But then I say, does there need to be emotional depth in a film like this? Like, extra stakes, or like some like deep down like PTSD from the character, or I don't know, I'm just thinking of random things. Like, what would that add to the story? Like, would that make you like emphasize with the character more? Like, these reviews are acting like this movie needs emotional depth. I don't think it does. Like, there's tons of movies which like don't really have like strong emotional depth, but then they still work. Like, I literally just talked about Mad Max. Like, it's just like some of my favorite films, like Baby Driver. Like, that's also just, there's a woman and he's the driver and he needs money. Like John Wick as well, like his dog dies so he goes and kills him. And also, isn't the fact the world being like literally destroyed, isn't that good enough like stakes for the movie to be good? Like, the world is gonna blow up or whatever, I don't know. And something, I can't help but compare this to Blade Runner. Now, this is like annoying because I have Blade Runner as a 2, like I'm the 2049 Blade Runner, like, and I don't know why. I guess I just didn't enjoy it when I watched it, but when I look back at that movie, I think that was pretty good, but I don't know, I need to rewatch it. But I can't help but compare John David Washington, that's his name, to Ryan Gosling in that movie, because both of their portrayals as the character is just kind of straight face, not much like emotion, just do the dialogue, do your thing. And then something I love about both of these films is that's how they deliver all the lines, but then it will cut to an action scene and it will be the most like tense thing ever. Like the scene when he fights whatever he's called, Harrison Ford's character in the place at the end, like that's so tense, and like there's such like aggression like built up in that fight scene. And I think it's the exact same because there's like fight scenes in this as well, like just a small kitchen scene, like the way he and when the future version of himself comes back through the time thing and he fights him like in the swap thing, like there's such aggression like in the fight scene. It's so like different compared to his delivery in the rest, because he's just kind of like, I am Tenet and I'm going to do this, and then like he's like, there's so much aggression within the fight scenes. And also, if you like rewatch this film anytime soon, just watch how he runs. Like the way he runs, like he's not just like running, like he's aggressively sprinting. It's literally like a lion chasing after like a zebra. Like it's so like, you know, there's so much anger built up inside the way he runs. Like you can tell he's just, there's so much ambition in the like character, but it's just like him running. Like it's so good. And then the third part is that the dialogue is too hard to hear. I find this excuse very stupid. I find the other excuse is stupid. But now, I don't know if you know this, but when someone makes a film, when they do something, it's 99% of the time intentional. Like how the movie is intentionally confusing and how the movie intentionally has no emotional depth. This movie intentionally makes the dialogue hard to hear. Now you might be thinking, why? Why would Christopher Nolan do that? First of all, I don't actually think the dialogue is hard to hear. I just don't really understand his argument, but I have points. So one reason I think that the dialogue is purposely hard to hear is so the fact that the exposition doesn't over-explain the point. Like I think the lack of dialogue and the fact that the dialogue you do hear doesn't really explain like what the movie is, and I think that's good, because that lets you create your own interpretation of what the movie is, like I did back then. Like it links back to what I said, because like the like mainstream audience, they're used to like a hand like just guiding you through the movie, and they're not used to just like going into it and like just letting your brain come up with your own idea. Like they're used to just being told all the information so they don't have to think. Like you don't need to be told what's happening. It's being shown, and all you have to do is sit down for like a few minutes and think about it. And maybe you do need to rewatch it 1 or 2 or 3 more times to understand it, but eventually you are, because it would be boring if Christopher Nolan went, basically he's going forward in time and then backwards in time so he can tell them what's gonna happen and he can save them, and then they win. Like that would be that movie would be terrible. So I think the fact that they don't explain it makes it 10 times better. Like, I think that's probably the best thing about films and cinema, the fact that you can just watch a film, then after it, come up with your own reason of why something happened. Like that one interview with David Lynch where the interviewer says, "Can you explain the movie?" And he just says, "No." Like, why would he do that? Like, that's one of the best things about films. 1,000 people, 1,000,000 people can watch the same movie, and each individual person can have their own interpretation or view on it. Like, you can think Tenet's bad, that's fine with me, because that's your opinion. But in my personal opinion, I think this is an amazing film that's like, has one of the most like complex things ever. Like, this is probably the most confusing movie I've ever watched. I just find that amazing. But at the same time, some of the line delivery isn't very good, so 4.5. But yeah, like I said, I'm on holiday and I just watched Go. Crazy they made that movie about me. But no, this is a Sony animation, so it's obviously very beautiful. They made Spider-Verse, they made Puss in Boots, they made some other stuff, and this is like amazingly animated as well. But it has that same like super fast-paced energy as Spider-Verse and Puss in Boots, where it's just like pew, 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 super fast. But the thing is, it doesn't slow down. Like, it's just fast, 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 the whole film. Like, it does slow down a little bit, but when it does, it's still fast. Like, I think the thing that makes Spider-Verse amazing is it can have these, like, crazy fight scenes where it's genuinely, like, extremely fast, flashing images, and then it will stop, and then the characters will have this, like, heartfelt conversation, and it'll be, like, super emotional and make you want to cry. And then this, it does the same. The characters are just like, "You gotta do this, man. I got this. I'm gonna do this. Yes, I'm doing this. I'm gonna play basketball. Okay, bye. I'm gonna do this." Like, that's what the emotional scenes are like, and it's really weird, and it's just like, can we just slow down and just have a chill scene? And also, like, the writing, like, the characters, they just, like, I Jet, the panther woman, I don't get, like, she's clearly struggling from, like, getting old, and, like, the press or whatever, the media being like, "Oh, you're old and you're a prick," and she's clearly like getting stressed out because of that. So like, I can understand why she's acting like irrationally, but it's just like she's just going back and forth being like, "I love my team," to "I hate you, I'm doing everything," to "I love my team," to "I hate you, I'm doing," like, I don't, like, why are we going back and forth? Just like, why is it not just being that? But no, it's like amazingly animated. Like, I couldn't rate this low. Like, and it's also very fun. Just can't really write character acts very well. And also, like, there's a plot twist at the end where the, like, woman is like, "I'm selling the team," and then nothing comes of that. It just kind of makes him sad, and then the end, it's just like, "I bought the team." Cool. Yeah, okay. And then I'm loving my 2026 movies. I watch Remarkably Bright Creatures, which, if you haven't watched it, is about this old woman and this guy, and they both end up working the night shift at this aquarium, and they both bond over this octopus, actually. And you know what's crazy? Guess who the octopus is played by? Alfred Molina, I don't know, one of them. But the Dr. Octopus. Like, how cool is that? You get to play Dr. Octopus 20 years ago, and then you get to play an actual octopus. That's crazy. But like, the voiceovers from him are so like crazy, because like, he's my favorite Spider-Man villain, like, from the movies. Like, I just love Spider-Man too. And like, growing up, because I like Green Goblin obviously, but just like, he's just kind of like, "I'm evil." Dr. Octopus, like, he's being controlled by the arms, and like, he just wants to create power. That's all he wants. And like, the arms take control of him and just want that power. Like, that's so good. And like, I just love that character. But to have him just playing just an octopus, and the talk about like nature, and like, because like, an octopus is a very smart creature, so like, the like dialogue is like very like, it's like a philosopher, except from the fact it's Alfred Molina, he's an octopus. I love it. But this movie is very sweet. I'm not gonna say anything from it, because you should just kind of watch it, because the ending is very sweet. It made me cry. It's just a very sweet movie, and like it deals with like quite like personal, like traumatic things, whilst also being like a funny, like fun movie, which I love. Like, that's why I love Little Miss Sunshine, because that's my favorite film, because on the surface it's this happy, well, not happy family, but, well, yeah, like a happy family, but then they're all struggling on the inside, and they take it out on each other, or even take it out on themselves, and I just love that. And then to end this video off, I am about to go watch the new Spider-Man movie. Literally in a few minutes, I'm leaving to go watch it. So, and I got the flight home yesterday, and I watched No Way Home on it, which I like No Way Home. It's good. It's the best Tom Holland movie. The thing is with the Tom Holland Spider-Man is that it's very clearly just it's not a Spider-Man movie. It's like a Marvel Avengers movie. Like when I think of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, I don't think it's like a Marvel film. I think it's just a Spider-Man film, or it's just like a drama film with Spider-Man, who is a character. Like I'm not thinking, oh, it's Spider-Man, like the Marvel character. I'm thinking it's Spider-Man. Like, but then when I watch a Tom Holland Spider-Man, I'm like, oh, it's Spider-Man from Avengers and Marvel, and there's other people here, which is probably the reason why these movies couldn't be as good as they are. And I think that's why they struggled so much, because they like tried to be like it'd be Spider-Man and there's Iron, and then the next one is Spider-Man and there's Nick Fury, and then this one is Spider-Man with Doctor Strange. Like they're just like adding these other people in it, and it's just like I want a Spider-Man movie. And I was annoyed when I saw Hulk in the trailer for the new brand new day, and I was like, bro, can we just make a Spider-Man movie? It's so simple. Just Spider-Man fights this guy. Spider-Man Homecoming was good, and then we add Iron Man. Get him out of here. The Vulture's such a good villain in there. And then just Iron Man is in it. Get him out. Why is he here? I don't want him. Spider-Man and Iron Man are good in Civil War. They're good in Infinity War. Get him out of the movies. He should not be in a Spider-Man movie. And I'm going to talk about like my opinions on the Spider-Man movie after, but I just want to talk about before I go into it. This is one of my most anticipated movies for the year. And so far, it is the highest rated Marvel thing on Letterboxd. It is a 4.2. Which is crazy, because I did not expect it to get that high. I expected it to be like a 3.8, something like that, but it's a 4.2. I know that's like recent bias or whatever it's called, but still, like 4.2, like that's crazy. And like I have not been spoiled, so I don't know anything about it. I'm willing to bet like my arm, this arm, you can have this arm if Jean Grey is not in the movie. I would say it's 99.99% that it's Jean Grey. Why are they trying to hide it? I don't know. I don't get. Stop trying to be like, who's gonna be in it? It's Jean Grey. Like, obviously. If it's not, I'm gonna look like an idiot. But yeah. And also, another thing, why did they reveal the Hulk in the trailer? Now, the point of a trailer is to get you excited for a movie. It shows you small parts and you're like, oh, that and that and that. So that's what the movie's gonna be like. So you go, I'm gonna see that. You don't need to do that with Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man. A 2-year-old like Indian child knows who Spider-Man is. You do not need to be like, this and this is gonna be in the movie. You don't need to do that. Like, just show that there's a new style. Spider-Man is actually depressed in this, which is the point of Spider-Man. Do like the little like comic book things, what they did in that. Like, just do that. Say Jean Grey is. Actually, maybe just don't reveal anything. Because don't include the Jean Grey thing. Like, don't show her character. Just show the powers. You're like, what the heck is that? I'm gonna see this movie. And then also, just put Bruce Banner in the movie. You do not need to reveal the Hulk is in this movie. Like, imagine that. Like, that's genuinely, like, Thor landing in Wakanda levels of, like, oh my god. Like, I wouldn't say it's as cool as, like, Iron Man Snap or anything like that, but you include Bruce Banner in the trailer. Or maybe don't, because for some reason, well, they probably is already, but Mark Ruffalo isn't in, like, any of the press tours or anything. Like, he hasn't spoken about this movie. Probably because he just doesn't like Disney, but he's just in this, is it Disney? I don't actually know. But, like, why did they reveal the Hulk? Give me genuine, why? How cool would it be to have Mark Ruffalo, Bruce Banner in the trailer? You're watching the trailer, you go, he's in this, but he's not the Hulk. He has the thing on his arm, so surely he can't turn into Hulk, right? You watch the film, Spider-Man's in that building, I don't know, I haven't watched it yet, turns into the Hulk, and guess what? He's like crazy, and it's like OG Hulk. Again, that would be like an amazing thing to experience in this. I'm not saying it won't be amazing, like I'm gonna enjoy this movie, I know I am, but like to have that, like, just boom, the Hulk's in it. Yo, that's so cool. That's literally like as cool as Thor landing in Wakanda, or like Groot picking up Mjolnir. I'm a Stormbreaker. Like, that's like a cool scene. Like, you don't expect that. Like, imagine if they just showed that in the trailer. That would be so stupid. Like, you see where I'm coming from here. Like, but no, I'm still excited for the movie. Spider-Man's depressed. He's like getting like natural webbing, which is cool. Jean Grey's in it. That's it. Yeah, she's in it. But it's gonna cut to me in a few hours. Bye. Hello, I'm back from Spider-Man. Brand new day. And yeah, it was good. But the thing is, I don't know what to say about it. Like, it was just good. Actually, quite good. But like, it's just, I'm so confused. But I genuinely, I don't know what to say about it. Like, there wasn't anything where I was like, whoa, that's cool. And there wasn't anything where I was like, I don't like that. It just all worked. It all flowed. It was fun. You know, it's a Spider-Man film. Jean Grey's in it. Yeah, I was right. It's Jean Grey. Like, what I bet Marvel expected it to be like was like in the cinema, it reveals it's Jean Grey. Everyone's like, no. And then I remember they revealed it was Jean Grey. The whole cinema completely silent. The Hulk. I wanted the Hulk scene to be longer. It was actually only like 5-10 minutes, which was a bit annoying. A cool thing is the movie's like 2 hours 20. Doesn't feel like that. It actually feels shorter than that, which is good. The one, if I had to say one thing I didn't like about it, was the fact that the villain is it called Mezca? I don't know what his name is. I guess he's the main villain, and it's only revealed he's the villain like near the end, because you go, so he thinks the villain. But the thing is, I don't understand, because they were clearly like trying to tell us that she's the bad guy and then do like a switch up at the end. But the thing is, why, like, I get like why she was trying to do what she was doing, but why was she like tormenting Spider-Man? That's what I don't understand. Like, when she was like breaking into the building and like trying to like get these files or whatever, I get that, but like she was being like horrible to Spider-Man. She pretended to be MJ and made MJ like realize who Peter was. That's been tormenting for 3 years. He literally says it like after. He's like, that you've done, what does he say? It's not despicable, but he says something like that. And then she's just like, hey, I'm evil. But I'm not actually evil. I just want to get my sister. Why was she being evil to Spider? Did I miss something? Like, she's actually been horrible. But no, apart from that. Also, the Hulk. Why did she do that? Like, what was her goal? Or was she just like, oh, the Hulk? Probably extremely traumatic for him to also just turn him back into Hulk. You know what? Let's do it again. And kill people. But, you know, the end credit scene, Spider-Man's in space now. What does that mean? No clue. But thanks for watching. Goodbye.